welcome. Now, before I begin, I want to tell you guys that please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, then please subscribe. Like, comment, share, and if you're interested in such topics and you like the work I do, then consider becoming a member. So today we have a very interesting topic. I mean, not a interesting topic, but we'll be talking about the 64 yoginis and what they really mean. We'll be talking about the Bhairavs and what is the real deepest significance. What is Bhairav Tattva? And we will also be talking about the 56 kalwes. Now, if you have not heard about this, then fret not. These concepts are really esoteric and hardly ever discussed. So what I will be discussing with you is not something you can find in any book or online or in any other video. So be sure to listen to the end. It will be a long video because we will get into the crux of the matter and discuss all the occult meanings of this tattva, right? So Shakta Tantra is very intricate, and the basis of this is as above, so below. So the Brahmand exists in the Pindand or the physical body. So every single tattva, every single deity, every single Devi Devta is an archetype. They are a tattva. And the real meaning behind them, okay, is sometimes shrouded in mystery. I've spoken to some of you about how Durga is actually a tattva. We think she's a Devi because that's an easy way for us to understand. With the Durga tattva, we can see when a mother, the way a mother protects her child, or the way a lioness protects her cubs. All right. So I forgot to put this on. I hope you guys heard I hope the sound is okay. So what is the deepest significance of Shakta Sadhana? So Shakta Sadhana, Shakti Sadhana is very simply understood as the sadhana of power or Shakti, the dynamism of consciousness. So Shiva Tattva is Satchitananda, okay? Sat, truth, Chit, consciousness, Ananda, bliss. So Shiva is the static side, the static part of creation, the foundation of creation. That is why Shiva is seen lying under the feet of Kali. Shakti is the dynamic part of creation. Now, Shiva is actually both Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is actually Shakti Bij, E. So without the dynamism of Shakti, Shiva is Shava. Whether you look at the treatise of Kashmir Shaivism, whether you look at the texts of Shakta Tantra, you will understand how Shiva and Shakti are two sides of the same coin. Without Shiva, there is no realization of consciousness. Without Shakti, there is no interplay of matter and consciousness. All right? So, without wasting any time, let us delve into the subject matter at hand today. I have channeled some stuff for you guys, so let's get straight to it. So, there are 52 Bhairavs, all right, who are directly connected to the 64 yoginis. Now, many say there are 64 Bhairavs. Yes, in fact, there are infinite Bhairavs because Bhairavs are emanation of Shiva energy. Shiva, like I said, Satchitananda. Shiva is not accessible in this world. It is that aspect of Shiva that we know as Bhairav, who is operational in this world of matter that we inhabit. So, esoterically speaking, there are 72,000 nadis in the body. Okay, 72,000 nadis. But for brevity's sake, we will speak about only 72 primary nadis in the body. Each nadi has a nas or a nerve. And of course, 52 nadis flow, they have red blood that flows through them. So there's an association to red blood cells here. And the rest, we have white blood cells, so white blood flows through this. Alright, now the blood that keeps us alive, blood being the signifier of Mars, that keeps us alive, is circulating through these nadis. Alright, these 52 nadis are Bhairavs. Yes, there are 64 nadis, but 52 primarily are extremely active when it comes to how we live our lives, how we experience reality. Alright, so what is Kalwa? Kalwa is a Farsi word, alright, and it means union. Kalwa is also known as jod or joint. And there are 14 jods in the hand. Alright, so 2 hands makes it 28. Now there are also, of course, the same thing with the feet, 14 here and 14 here, so 28. So now we are adding them up, 28 plus 28, 56. So these 56, the activation of these 56 Bhairavs is how we experience reality. Like I said, the power, the regency we have. Bhairav makes us fearless. When can we truly become fearless? When we have regency. When we understand the actions that we take and the repercussions that come with it. What to stay away from. Let's say a moral compass. So, when we activate all of these 56 nerves, this is symbolic, or this means that now we have activated or received the 56 kalwe or 56 kalwe. Alright, and if you notice that when we do karanyas, okay, what is karanyas? Karanyas is fingernyas. So, hasti angushtabhyam namaha, pishachi tarjanibhyam namaha, likhe madhyamabhyam namaha, swaha anamikabhyam namaha, hasti pishachi likhe kanishtikabhyam namaha, hasti pishachi likhe swaha karatalakara prishtabhyam namaha. So this, the karanyas, actually is a way to activate the Bhairavs. The kalwes. So there are 72 nadis, like I told you. For brevity's sake, we will discuss 72 primary nadis. This is known as 72. Now, if you remember that I had told you this Bhairav mantra to counter all black magic. And what does it say in that? बंद माँ की 72 कोठरी में घुस जाना. Now all these Shabad mantras, why are they known as Siddh mantras? It's because in each mantra, when the Nath Sampradaya, whether it be Guru Gorakshanath or Kanif Nath or Matsendra Nath, whoever, whenever they design these Shabad mantras, even people after them have been designing, creating Shabad mantras, all of them have a deep esoteric meaning behind them. So when we say Banda maa ki 72 kothari mein ghus jana, this actually relates to the 72 nadis that we have, the nerves. So when Bhairav energy is flowing through those nerves, and that's when we have the regency or the power to counter any negativity or any negative energies. So this is quite difficult to understand. It's not easy, and it's okay if you don't understand it, but it's quite interesting to realize that at the end of the day, the point of sadhana is when we externalize the energies as a deity. That's the beginning stages. Then after that, we realize that everything is internal. The devtas and devis, they are within us, right? The Brahmand is within us, within this physical body. So Bhairav Tattva is within us. Ganesh Tattva is within us, right? Thank you. So remember that. And what was that mantra? Bhairav Bir Sada. No, that was not the one. That was Swarnakarshan Bhairav. See, again, I'm not forgetting the. हाँ, काल भैरव कपिला जड़ भैरव चौखट स्थान में भोजन कर राजा राज करी काल भैरव बता तेरा रूप तेरे को दिखाऊंगी मैं गुकुल की धूप जात जोड़ी जहाँ भेजे वहाँ जाना बंद माँ की 72 कोठरी में घुस जाना जंजीर वाले की जंजीर खोलना भूत पलीत का चौकी उखाड़ना चुड़ैल दासीन माते की चौकी उखाड़ना. So Kal Bhairav is now being asked that बंद माँ की 72 कोठरी में घुस जाना. What is माँ but Kundalini, or the ojas that is floating around, the ojas, the urja. So this is very interesting how Shabdi mantras actually hold deep tantric truths. It's just that we don't understand it. We tend to think of them as nonsense mambo jumbo for people who don't know them. What do you mean by Band maa ki 72 kotari mein ghus jana? Loosely translated, it means that enter the 72 hearts of the closed mother. So, the Nath Sampradaya people or very big tantrics, they were not Alona Chamadi, who also wrote a ton of Shabar mantras. So, if that's why these mantras are, if they are Gurumukhi only, because Shabdi mantras cannot be done without Guru. So, if you receive Shabdi mantra initiation, then that lock has been opened for you. बंधमा की 72 कोठरी में घुस जाना. That means Bhairav Tattva enter into the 72 nerves. And I told you that the urja, the blood, is flowing through 56 red blood. The 56 nerves are flowing red blood, are pumping red blood. Through them, red blood flows, 56. And the rest is white blood. So again, in 64 Bhairav, so people who really go deep into Bhairav Tattva, the 56 kalwes are directly related to the Bhairavs. And kalwes cannot be had without Yogini and Bhairav activation. Who is Bhairav? But the son of Ma Kali, who walks before her, creating the pathway for Shakti. So that means you understand that Bhairav Tattva is inseparable to Kundalini Tattva. That's why it is said that if you're doing a Devi mantra and you are not seeing any success, then you have to do, anyway, even if you don't know this and if you've been initiated, your Guru will give you Bhairav Tattva with Shakti Sadhana. It cannot be done alone. Nowadays, people spread rumors that, you can't worship Bhairav at home. In fact, not only can you not worship Bhairav at home, but every home should have Batu Bhairav's picture. It's okay if you don't want to have Kal Bhairav. Kal Bhairav is very scary, wrathful. But Batuk Bhairav is child energy. And having Batuk Bhairav in your house not only protects you, but it'll protect children and animals. Because oftentimes there are entities that can seep through because they are childlike, like we spoke about in the Black Magic Masani video about Kache Kalwe, Pakke Kalwe, Kacha Masan and Pakka Masan. So, Kacha Masana children that have been resurrected to and bound to the tantric in question who's making them do these things. Kache Kalve. Now, if you have, say, if you've established a chowki of Ma Kali, or if you've, got Kal Bhairav chowki in your house or Hanuman chowki, oftentimes these Kacha Masans can enter because they're children. So they pass through that, the protection of Kali Ma or protection of Bhairav or Hanuman. But these little Kache Masans or Kacha Kalwas, they cannot enter if there is Batuk Bhairav. Because Batuk Bhairav, being a child energy, can stop them. They're very scared of Batuk Bhairav. So Batuk Bhairav, a picture of Batuk Bhairav should be in every house. And it's mandatory if you have children. In your child's room, you should have Batuk Bhairav's picture. Where to have Batuk Bhairav's picture? See the door, right? The door that is the room, the door for your child's room. Right on top of the door, looking inwards, is the best place to keep Batuk Bhairav's picture. So you can worship Batuk Bhairav easily at home. Even Kal Bhairav you can worship at home. And you do not need to give them alcohol. You do not need to give them, burnt liver, how some people do. And then some people say, oh, Bhairav Baba drinks or Ma Kali drinks and takes blood sacrifice. No, she doesn't. Ma Kali is Mahamaya. So with her walks all these spirits and jinns and muwakkils and dakinis and shakinis and yoginis and yakshinis. They all walk with her, they go with her. So like she has sakaratmak urja, which is positive, all good. She also has nakaratmak urjas that worship her, that travel with her. That's why it's important to have Batuk Bhairav. Also, if you're worshipping Ganpati, then it would do you good if you have children to worship Ganpati in Bal form. Even Hanuman. Okay, because when you have the energy of a deity that is in child form, that's very, very pure. In fact, also in the Uchishta Ganpati Sampradaya, there is a form of Bal Uchishta Ganpati. And it's a very powerful and esoteric worship that is not revealed to anybody unless they are very pure of heart. So, Batuk Bhairav's picture and puja must be done by all grahastis. All grahastis should be worshipping Batuk Bhairav. Whether you have children, don't ask me things like, I don't have children, do I need to worship? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. So, remember this, and then many people have asked me, I'm answering their questions here. Many people, yes. Today, what I will reveal to you is not from any book, but it is a direct discourse with my Guru Dev and how he sees this thing. So anyway, let me answer a few questions before I proceed. People have asked me this question that, I was doing sadhana, I was doing mantra, and I've studied under someone, I found them online. or I found an astrologer online, and then I approached them, and suddenly my powers have been bound. I don't know what's happening, and my powers have been bound by this person. So, again, I'm going to tell these people that please have some. Thank you. I have the people who keep telling me that someone's, bound my powers, or someone's done this, or someone's done that. Stop! Hey! To them, I will tell you one thing, that please have some faith and belief in your own powers. If you think that just because, somebody's a tantric and and you go to them and whatever, you have a bad vibe with them and you think that they can just bind your power like that, then first and foremost, please have some respect for your own sadhana. Have some respect for the deity that you are worshipping. Yes, negativity can come through. Yes, people can try to block your progress, but nothing that a water ritual or a homam will not fix. So it's, do not blame other people and say that, oh, my powers have been bound, or I don't know what to do, they've bound my power, or someone's done this. No, it doesn't work like that. You can try to bind someone's power, but no tantric is the goddess. No, nobody can harm you or bind you like that. If you are powerful, if your aura is powerful. That's why in that mantra, when we are asking Bhairav Baba, Bandama ki 72 kothari mein ghus jana. Because the minute Bhairav Tattva goes into the 72 nerves of the body, oh wow, wow, I just love hearing stories from you guys, and it just makes all the work that I do so you have to meditate. You can study all you want, but that's again just using your mind or your intellect. But finding your place in the world of Vedic astrology, you have to surrender to deities. That's like something you have to do. So keep that in mind, okay? And you can study all your charts. You can study all the charts that are possible to study, but still will not give you the answers. They are internal. Like Bhairav Tattva is internal. So, there. Now, so this 72, when you activate the Bhairav Tattva, and they flow through these nadis, right? These 56 nadis that deal with red blood. Then you are activating, this is yogic activation. And like I told you, kalwa is a Farsi word. It means union, like yoga. So 50 chappan kalwe means the union of energy in those nerves. Nerve centers shall we call them, because that makes plain things a bit easier. Now yoginis. Let's get to discussing the yoginis. Okay, before, another thing that I want to tell you people is that okay, if you really want to talk to me, please email me on tina@tinahills.com, because I really could not read your whole comment. So I have no idea what you meant. But let's get back to the discussion at hand. So we have 64 yoginis, right? Now, what are yoginis? And again, like, this is the deep esoteric meaning. Okay, so here you have the oh my God, it's another video. But we have 72 nerves. Out of that, 56 flow Bhairav Tattva with red blood. So there's an association to red blood there. That's why these 56 Bhairavs must be known. Because the minute you go into white, you're going into Shiva Tattva. Red is Shakti Tattva. At the beginning, what happens is Shiva Shakti are together, and then from that state of togetherness breaks out one. It's just the state of togetherness is white. So from that state, that white state, comes out a red bindu. That is Shakti, the dynamism of the consciousness that is dynamic, that is operational. And then once again she mixes, the red goes back into the white, and at the bottom they create a misra, a misra bindu, which is a mixture of, which is pink in color. And then again, once the creation falls like this, and from that one dot, two dots will appear, Shakti dot. So let's explain it better like this. So top dot, Shiva Shakti together, Shakti separates, creates a red bindu. Then again, Shakti moves this way and creates a Misra Bindu. Because Shiva is again, it's a triangle. So there's triangular exchange of energy. So the Misra Bindu is Shiva Shakti together. This is the primordial triangle. From that primordial triangle falls an inverted triangle. Okay, it's like this one triangle, and then think of it as that triangle opening up and inverting itself. So this is the secret of Viparit Methun, or the inverted intercourse. This is how spirit comes into matter. So now when we are talking about these tattvas of the Yogini tattvas, think of your spinal column, which we also call Sumedu. Sumedu is the Medudand, okay, what you call Medudanda, spinal cord. Now there are 32 nerves on one side and 32 nerves on the other. If you add them up, you get the number 64. These are the 64 yoginis, and they have a direct connection to Kundalini. That is why, where does Kundalini reside? In the Jivatman, it resides at the very root of our Muladhara chakra, right? And it's Muladhara is red in color, and the beej is lung, and there resides Kundalini in 3.5 coils. And then, so you can imagine that how important the yoginis are, right? They are right situated 32 like this, providing support for Kundalini to rise, right? So now, when Kundalini starts rising, then there's a hissing sound like the serpent, and it starts rising up the spinal column, the Sumedu, the Medudand, till it bheds or pierces the different chakras like Swadhisthana, Manipur, Anhat, Vishuddha, Ajna, then comes up to Sahasrar. So this coming up from Anahat to this is a big thing. Even coming up from here to here is a big thing. And this is the meeting of Shiva Shakti. The true Shiva Shakti union happens here. That's why Yogini is always with Ma Kali, because she is the Kundalini coil right there. I mean, you can call her Tripura Sundari, you can call her Kali. She is the primordial mother, Parashakti, in the form of Kundalini. Now, why do they live with Kali? Why have the ancients told us this? It's because Kundalini resides at the bottom of the spinal cord, and the 32 yoginis reside and support that spinal cord through which the Kundalini can rise. In fact, people with spinal problems, and if you've had a severed spinal cord or some kind of accident that has really damaged your spinal cord, they should start off with Yogini Sadhana. It will greatly help even people with back problems. Alright, and people who are like Muladhara is absolutely destroyed. So you cannot. Muladhara is Prithvi Tattva. So there's no success, there's no enjoyment. Okay, so that is important for people like that to understand the yoginis a bit deeper. I have a WhatsApp course, and if you're interested, please drop me an email and you can join my WhatsApp calls. Now, the thing is, now we are talking about how Kundalini or Makali, who lies coiled in 3.5 coils, rises up. And without the Yoginis, there is no support of the spinal column. So that's why Kali Siddhi is hard, it's not easy. It's not what most people make out to be. Ke, I've got Kali ki savari. It's not like that. Or some people say, oh, I'm channeling the goddess Kali. It's not so easy, because Ma Kali, to channel or to have a savari, that means the yoginis have to be active, Bhairav Tattva has to be active, and Kali to come and take savari on your Sahasrara chakra. That's how you'll see on YouTube savari videos of Kali, and people are just going nuts with their hair, or taking their tongue out like that and saying they are channeling Kali. It's all well and good, but honestly, Ma Kali is not here to, just come and start dancing on people's Sahasrara chakra and, they start channeling them. It's not like that. Like I said, that how we are shown in movies, that the Bhagat is doing sadhana, and then suddenly the Devi will appear in front of him and say Tathastu, like we saw in Ramayana and Mahabharata and these epics. And then he's like, Devi will say Tathastu, bolo tumko kya chahiye, and tumko kya var do, and they're like, ha, I want so and so. It's like, it's not a jinn. Devis are not jinns. Devis are within you. When you have a Siddhi of a Devi, their archetype comes alive inside of you. Their archetype comes alive inside of you. So like I said, that people who've started Ganpati Sadhana, at the beginning you will see that. How do you know that Siddhi is coming? Siddhi is coming when you become ordered. Ganpati orders the mind. So immediately you'll see everything around you becomes ordered. There, you try to find harmony in the entropy. Okay, because Ganpati being gravitation, pulls, he creates matter by jumping into entropy, by attracting cosmic filaments to come together in the quantum gravity, in the world of quantum gravity, and then to come together. And then to form stellar nurseries, to form galaxies, right? So immediately if you have Siddhi of Ganpati, you'll start seeing that you become ordered, you're not chaotic, your head's not all over the place, your thoughts are precise, what you say is precise, your speech becomes, especially with the Uchishta Ganpati, your speech becomes absolutely delectable, perfect. You have the right word for the right moment. You can pronounce words in other languages. You don't get mind numbed. So I see astrologers on YouTube, then they do Vedic astrology, but they cannot even pronounce the planets without an accent, without their native accent. They cannot pronounce a single yog. Okay, in fact, it's now become Tantra. Whereas it's not Tantra, it's Tantra. Tantra. But even I have to say Tantra, because if I say Tantra, no one's going to understand what the heck I'm talking about. So being able to pronounce, if I say arigato gozaimasu, it'll be like how a Japanese person says it, not with me in my local accent. So this is what Uchishta Ganpati Siddhi is. Then you start to do well in your life. You start to move upwards. You have glamour. You are noticed where you go. You have a magnetic appeal. People come to you. Quantum graviton. People are coming to you. And people say, oh, I've got Kali ki savari. And then their lives are falling apart. Like nothing good is happening. And they're, churning all they want. And they're shaking their heads. It's important if you're doing tantric sadhana, because the pronunciation has to be perfect. Even people who are Westerners or Africans who are doing Vedic astrology, you must pronounce things correctly. That's very, very important. So this is how Siddhi comes. Ganpati is not going to stand in front of you and say, hey, tathastu, what do you want, this, that and the other. No. Okay, this is not the Arabian Nights. So there. Then people say, I've got Kali ki savari. What they don't understand is they're channeling negative entities or prates, bhoots, and they think it's Ma Kali just because her tongue is lolling out. I mean, even prates can loll out their tongue. So this is again another thing that I wanted to make clear, that Ma Kali is not here to come and give savari on just about anybody who says, I've got Ma Kali ki savari, or I'm channeling Ma Kali and I'm, going around shaking my head and saying I've got Ma Kali ki savari. So these are things you have to understand, because they could be fooling themselves, and it could be a prait doing that, because Ma Kali has a lot to do, I mean, let's be real. She's not going to just come on every other person and start savari. It's not easy to get savari like that. It's channeling a deity and becoming one with the deity. It's not easy, no matter what YouTube channels are claiming now. So you have to be intelligent to understand how these things work. Like, nobody can bind your powers, honestly. If you have worked on yourself, and if you feel, okay, that somebody's bound me, then do the necessary prayashchit, the purushcharnas to clear that energy. Nobody is God, and you are as important to Kali as XYZ. And if there's somebody's putting a choki on you to harm you, and you are like, okay, I was doing well in my spiritual life, now my tantric has tied me, or my astrologer has tied me. I mean, nobody really can do that to you. Just believe in yourself, believe in your deity, believe in your power. Understand? And in the same way as nobody can bind you, savari is not so easy. You have to go step by step, and levels you have to clear before savari comes like that. And if somebody's really got savari of Kali, then you will immediately begin to feel that energy. There's no escaping that. So to understand how important the yoginis are in our spinal health, right? Back pain problems, accidents. Really, really important to do yogini sadhana for that, and yogini meditations. So now we have, now I've explained to you what are the Bhairavs, I've explained to you what are the kalwes, and I've now also explained to you what are the yoginis. Okay, in the most esoteric way, in a way that you will not be told in any text, or you will not be educated in this manner. This is the going at the very crux of it all. Now, when you do Shakti sadhana, Bhairavs, Yoginis and Kalwes become indispensable. These are not things you can avoid. You cannot just go start with Ma Kali and say, oh, I did a Kali workshop and now I am a Kali sadhak or I am a tantric. It doesn't work like this. Like I said, if you're doing workshops online and you are like in some kind of association like Isha or whatever, I'm not trying to down anybody. Great for people who want to do that, great. But I'll tell you why that does not work in Tantra. Because your guru not only has to be invested in you, your guru also has to love you. Because powers can come without a guru, okay? There's no doubt about that. But holding that power, auguring yourself so you can hold that power, you can utilize that power, that is what the guru does. And guru loves you unconditionally. Without that love of the guru, there is no progressing. All my students are my children. I call them kids. Most of them are older than me, but still they are my children. And I've always been kind of motherly. So, sun in the 12th house, in Pushya Nakshatra and Cancer. ruling all my planets pretty much in Leo, in the first house. Ruler of the first is in the 12th in Pusha, in Cancer. So you can understand being a mother. So your guru has to take you as a child. You have to. There's no other way. If your guru is just some guy you buy workshops from and they don't love you and they're not invested in you, then you have not found the right person. Then you have not found the right person. So this is very, very important for yogic siddhis. For siddhis can come, but how to augur those siddhis, that's very, very important. Now, through Tantra and Mantra, we train the mind. And this is known as Upasana. Through when we are doing, they are now teaching mindfulness, breathing exercises that are nothing but pranayam, eye gazing, which is tratak, and they are packaging it as mindfulness, quantum realities, or quantum whatever, quantum jumping, quantum tunneling, call it whatever. Put a fancy name to it, and they are selling books and workshops, and they are giving it these names. And then people who are calling themselves tantrics are selling just basic sexual knowledge. They're like sex coaches. So we've completely forgotten what a guru's purpose is. A guru is your mother. Even if your guru is male, your guru is actually your mother. Thank you. So your guru is your mom. He may be a man, but he is your mom, your mother. So cultivating this relationship with the guru, this is what helps you with Siddhi. This is what propels you to the next level. Now, Upasana is so important because, like I said, that they're talking about mindfulness and all, but when you're doing Tantric Sadhana, how more mindful can you be? With each beach chanting, you're focusing on different chakras or a single chakra. Again, all this is Guru Mukhi. Only your guru will be able to tell you. But if you really go to the crux of Tantric Sadhana, oh, okay, wow. Okay. So, I'll tell you what, right? That without Yoginis Bhairav and kalwes, there is no tantric siddhi. And when you are doing upasana, even each ritual has a meaning. Each tattva that you offer activates an element. Sandalwood paste activates earth. Flowers activate akasha or ether. Incense activates vayu or air. Lamp activates fire or deep, a diya. Akshat activates water element, naivedya, food. And then we of course have a combined tattva beach. So each thing has its own activation, its own meaning, its own connection. That only experience can give you this. No, that's why I don't like to control my students and tell you have to do exactly this, you have to do that. I pretty much teach them the whole gamut and tell them that you take what works for you, you adapt, you improvise. So this is very important to understand that Upasana is the only way to achieve Shunyata. Different stages in Upasana. In the beginning, we do Murti Puja, we still our mind, pranayams, trataks, Brahmari. Then we go into mantra and keval kumbhak and suspension. And then from mantra, we move on to dharana. And at dharana level, everything is suspended. Even mantra is suspended. This is the realm of Bhairav. And then we have Anandamaya Kosh, which is the merging of Shiva Shakti. So sadhana is the only way to penetrate all the five koshas and make you as the best version of yourself, mindful, truly mindful. So this is something to think of, that Upasana sadhana is the only way to achieve mindfulness. Only way to achieve mindfulness. Not, paying thousands of dollars and attending a mindfulness seminar. All of these teachings have been rehashed from Tantra, sadly. All these teachings. One side of Tantra is selling sex, and the other side of Tantra is black magic, voodoo, da 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 da, Vashikaran, Choki, all this cog. Bad jokey, nakaratmak jokey, of course. So this we have to understand that Tantra is actually a way for, it's a system. In India we say Lok Tantra, democracy. Everything is Tantra. Why? Because Tantra is a system. Raj Tantra, monarchy. So Vigyan Tantra, science, the system of science. So Tantra does not mean sex or, how to have better sex, or Tantra doesn't mean black magic rituals in the crematorium, selfies with corpses. Tantra is the best way for self-actualization. It's a system to become the best version of yourself. Sound, visualization, every single thing that you find out there has been taken from Tantra. This is the mother, this is the foundation of every single system. And it is Sanatani. It is eternal. This knowledge, it doesn't, dissipate. It's eternal knowledge. People ask me, I'm not a Hindu, how do I do this? You are a Sanatani. For every system is based on the Sanatani tradition. So you don't have to be, you don't have to be anyone, or you can be from anywhere. You can be from any religion. You don't have to be a Hindu to practice Tantra. It's that simple. And it's not a religion, it's a system. That's why it can be embraced by any and every person out there. You don't need to, it's a way of life, simply put. That's why we have sanskars. It's a way of life, Now, training the mind body, when you're sitting in sadhana, to train that mind, to train that body firstly, to listen. You'll see that some people tell me that, I do my japa, and as I've just counted half the mala, I want to either urinate, or I feel extremely thirsty, or I feel extremely, I'm constantly yawning, or I'm falling asleep while I meditate. These are things that I hear a lot. And this is the Kurukshetra that's happening within you, and you have to train your lower self. So you have to train that body. That body has to listen to you. People tell me, oh my God, I can't sit for 20 minutes in Padmasana. I can't sit on the floor. Try. Okay, if you can't, or if you're geriatric, or if you've got some kind of injury, it's okay. But what if you're not? And if you just pushed yourself a little bit, you could. Then why not try? Is all I'm saying. It's definitely worthwhile to try. Most people, how many days will I get Siddhi? Some people are like, yeah, okay, we'll do the whole Purush Charna and then I'll get my wish fulfillment. It's not a transaction. Or some people are like, if I do one mala, I can't do the Purush, and one mala, will I get to see the benefits? So what kind of benefits will I get to see if I do one mala? How many days do I have to do the mantra? I mean, come on. This kind of thing, it's like, do you go to the gym and say, how many days do I have to exercise? No. Lose weight, get fit. Really get fit. And it may take you a month, 6 months, a year. And then if you give it up after a year and you've got your ideal body weight and then you just give it up and you lose all the discipline and then you become fat again, what then? What do you tell the gym teacher? It's the very same thing. Heck, you're training your body, your mind, your soul. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm telling you now, it's not easy. After the body is trained, okay, you're sitting in Padmasana, but your mind is all over the place. It's going here, it's going there, it's going here, it's going there, right? So next is training the mind. And then repeated mantra and focus on the Ajna Chakra is what will keep the mind still. And then once that practice has been established, then you will be able to move to Dharana. And slowly, slowly, the channels will open up for you. But kalwes, Bhairavs, Yoginis are absolutely mandatory. Mandatory. If you want to achieve mindfulness, if you want to have a solid aura of protection around you. Now, there are many Bhairavs, right? 64 Bhairavs, I told you, and 41 are most important because they are associated to the red blood that flows in those nas or nerves. So, out of all the Bhairavs, we see two Bhairavs are really, really famous. Batuk Bhairav, the child form of Bhairav, and Kal Bhairav. And yet when we think about it, what do they represent? Okay. Kal Bhairav is none other than Rudra. Who's Rudra? Rudra is none other than Shiva. In the Vedas, Rudra is Shiva. Alright. And now, how was Bhairav born? Bhairav was born, it's a very interesting story, that once Vishnu and Brahma were having a conversation. So Brahma said that, I know you may be like the guy who sustains all of this, but don't forget who created this. I mean, what would you sustain if I had not created this grandeur? So Brahma is like, so you think you're more important than me? So you think you're more important than me? So Brahma said, yeah, I create all of this. So I am definitely more important than you, okay? So then then Vishnu was like, okay, let's go to the 4 Vedas and let's ask them, who is the most important? So they go to the 4 Vedas and the 4 Vedas say, no, both of you are not as important as Mahadev, Devadidev Mahadev. So this really hurts Brahma's pride. And so from Shiva, and when Shiva hears about this ego-driven personality of Brahma, a fire starts in his third eye. And through that, Batuk Bhairav comes into emanation, he emanates. And then after seeing Batuk Bhairav, Brahma is, still not convinced that he's going to be humbled. So then Batuk takes the form of Kal Bhairav, and with his little fingers, the nail of his little finger, he slices one of Brahma's heads. It's very symbolic, okay? And after slicing off his head, because he is now responsible and guilty of Brahma Hatya, there's a curse put on him, and he is like, he has to go traveling, he has to go to different teeth and different places, and at the end God tells him, the Shiva tells him that you go to Varanasi, which is Kashi, and you will be known as Kashi ka Kotwal. You will reside in Kashi. So that's why Bhairav is the protector. Without Bhairav, there is no protection. And in fact, Bhairav is such a powerful protector that people who go to Kashi Vishwanath always have to go to Bhairav Baba first. Once they meet Bhairav Baba, then they can go on to meeting Kashi Vishwanath Shiva. So, Aurangzeb was a Mughal emperor, and he was a total Kattarpanthi, which means he was a fanatic. And he desecrated Hindu temples and Hindu culture. So he wanted to break the Kashi Vishwanath temple, which he did. But, people talk, right? There's gossip. So people around him, his soldiers and his war strategists were like, but we cannot go to Bhairav Baba's temple in Kashi, because that's very dangerous. So Aurangzeb said, no, I don't care who Bhairav is, we will go. So he put some of his very powerful generals and war strategists, and they all went to raid Baba Bhairav's temple. When they went to raid Baba Bhairav's temple, and they were in close proximity, out of nowhere appeared a pack of rabid black dogs. And these rabid black dogs bit all the Mughal soldiers, and then they became infected with rabies and started to bite each other. Ultimately, no Aurangzeb, nobody could ever desecrate Kal Bhairav's temple. He's that powerful. He's Kashi ka Kotwal. So this was how Baba Bhairav was born. But he is none other than Rudra. What is Rudra Tattva? Now, actually, after he cut off Brahma's teeth, right, head, right, he roamed around everywhere and settled down in Kashi, and there he is known as Kapal Mochan. And this is a very powerful teeth. This is exactly where he cut Brahma's head off, in Kashi. Kashi is a place of absolute mystery, I tell you. I'd love to go and live in Kashi for like a month and, go by all the ghats and make videos and things like that. It'd be so interesting. Anybody who's a producer, who would like to produce such spiritual content, and, because it'll be in English, it'll have a huge viewership, the audience immediately expands. So if anybody is interested to produce such spiritual, mystical content from India, drop me an email. So this is the Kapal Mochan Tirth, where everybody should go. If you are going to Kashi Vishwanath, you have to visit Bhairav Baba. Now, if you get Siddhi of Bhairav, Yogini, and if you achieve kalwes, if you receive your kalwes, then you are ready to enter into Samadhi. Oh, that is a state that we are all hoping to enter. Samadhi. Now, let's talk a bit about Rudra. Who is Rudra? Rudra is a tattva. Shiva is a tattva. Durga is a tattva. All these are archetypes, tattvas. Now, all devatas we know have a Saumya roop, or soft, and they have a Ugra roop, or wrathful emanation. So people think that wrathful gods are Rudras, right? For instance, Narsim is the wrathful emanation of Vishnu, Narsim, who rescued Prahlad. So there is a difference, right? There's a difference that all wrathful gods are not Rudra. ये तो रुद्र रूप है. हाँ, ये काली माता का रुद्र रूप है कि ये Shiva cannot interfere so directly. That is the thing with Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva is static. Shakti Tattva is dynamic. And Bhairav is Shakti's son. So Bhairav is all pervading, dynamic Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva is very inaccessible. That's why the end matters not who desecrates Shiva's temple, because Shiva is beyond most of our comprehension, will always remain so. So we hear that हाँ ये तो माँ काली की रुद्र रूप है, कि ये विष्णु जी के रुद्र रूप है. So that doesn't mean they are rudras. Okay, wrathful, it does not translate to rudra. So this has caused a slight confusion, because then everybody thinks that wrathful gods are rudra roop. Okay, and that's it. But their rudra is a much deeper tattva that most people will never be able to comprehend, understand, or even be told about it. Okay, it's not just wrathful emanations of deity. Now there are 11 Rudras. If you ask somebody, they'll tell you falana, the 11 Rudras. Those 11 Rudras have 11 more avatars. So what we see, 11. So you know how 11 became such a big movement, right? Became such a big movement, 11. It still is, twin flame. And this is the Shiva Shakti Tattva, Rudra Tattva, 11. 11 Rudras, those 11 Rudras have 11 avatars, so 11. In fact, you can write 11 on your left hand, the left side of the body, if you are doing Rudra Sadhana. Again, Rudra Sadhana cannot be done without Guru. Very powerful sacred code. Don't do any mantra. Just say, hey Rudra, save me. Hey Rudra, save me. By the power of 11, please save me. Now, all of these Rudras and their 11 avatars are all forms of Shiva. Now, who is Rudra? Rudra is also the ruler of Ardra Nakshatra. Rodan. Rudra is one who cries after birth. Rodan. That's where Rudra, the etymology is Rodan. So Rodan is someone who cries after birth. This is deeply symbolic, has a deep symbolic meaning of spirit falling into matter and the suffering that it must endure. We all cry during birth. All of us cry during birth. That's the first thing. And back in the days, they would slap the child at the bum. Boom, and the child would cry. But now they blow softly on the face of the child. That's what they did with my baby. I said, no slapping the butt of my baby. You take those little fluffy little, you just squeeze them like that and they expel air. And then the babies, and they just start crying. So crying, we understand that we are losing our divine place of union, the yoga. And now we are falling into matter where segregation happens. Segregation is a deeply painful process. Now I'll tell you a very powerful Aghor mantra. Again, not to be done. Do not watch this video and start doing this mantra, because if anything negative happens, I am not responsible. However, if you want to learn Rudra Sadhana, then drop me an email. And if I feel you're fit and you're ready to learn Rudra Sadhana, then we will do. So this particular Aghor mantra my Guru gave me, and I did sadhana of this mantra. And this is possibly the most powerful mantra for Sharir Bandhan, Sharir Raksha. Aghorebhyo, Athagorebhyo, Ghora Ghora Darebhyo, Sarvebhyo, Sarva Sarvebhyo, Namaste Astu Rudra Rupebhyo. Rupevyo. It's a very powerful mantra. This is actually for people like me who are grihastis and who do aghor sadhana. This is the most powerful mantra. So one more time. Aghorebhyo ataghorebhyo ghor ghor darebhyo sarvebhyo sarva sarvebhyo namaste astu rudra rupevyo. What does this mean? I worship ghor, darkness, aghor. I worship aghor, illumination. And what is beyond ghor and aghor? That is Rudra or Param Shiva. Aghorebhyo ataghorebhyo ghora ghora darevyo sarvebhyo sarva sarvebhyo namaste astu rudra rupevya. Very powerful mantra. But do not start chanting this because you heard it here. I mean, you have to be initiated in aghor to receive the initiation for this. Now, Rudra or Param Shiva as Rudra resides as Bij in all Jivatma. Most important name of Shiva is Rudra. This is again only very, very well versed Shaivites will know this. But all names emanate from Shiva, okay? And because Shakti emanated from Shiva and Matrakas form all the alphabets, all names are originally from Shiva. But out of all the names of Shiva, the name Rudra has special significance. Rudra is connected to the Param Shiva form. Param Shiva form. And Rudra is Aghoreshwara. So, Rudra was actually birthed from Ardhanarishwara, the combined form of Shiva and Shakti, Ardhanarishwara. And he began to cry as he was birthed. And this is why he's Rudra, Rodan. But why cry? Why cry? It happens every single time when spirit falls into matter. So, when spirit falls into matter, there is Rodan. That is Rudra. Now, Rudra resides in us all. Rudra Tattva resides in us all as a bij. Now, just because you have a seed doesn't mean you will have a full-fledged plant. I mean, tons of things could go wrong. You may not sow the seed correctly. You may sow the seed correctly. It becomes a sapling, then it dies. I mean, chances are that it'll die. What are the odds that it'll become a huge banyan tree? Chances are less. But that seed is you. So what will you do with that seed that is you? You are Rudra and you are the seed. So going beyond all dualities is also Rudra. That's Aghor, going beyond all polarities, all dualities. So remember, next time you see a kid crying in a film because he's born or she's born, you know why. Spirit is falling into matter and getting enmeshed in karmic cycles. So there's something to that. Now, Shiva, always remember that Shiva resides in the Anhat Chakra. Shiva is the Ajna. Many people will tell you that Shiva's place is Ajna, Sahasrara. Yes, Sahasrara, Ajna, all. But a true devotee of Shiva, their heart will be unmistakably magnanimous. So, Shiva Tattva, if you are connecting to Shiva Tattva, it will energize your Anahata Chakra. Stop! Or your heart chakra. Alright? So, remember that. And Mahadev himself as Aghor, as Aghoreshwar is Rudra. Now, when Bhairav, Yogini, kalwes are awakened, right? Then urja starts, or energy starts to flow upwards. Urja starts to flow upwards. All right, and when this happens, many other spiritualists, occultists, tantrics will be able to see your urja going upwards. And this is when, people put a chowki, or what I answered before, that someone's, many people tell me that I went to this tantric, I went to this astrologer, and things were going great, and then everything, they bound me, they bound my powers. Now my mantra has no power. Yes, once you start, the urja starts flowing upwards, spiritual people can feel that. So certain ill-vested individuals can try, but then again, remember to have respect on your own deity, on your own siddhis, on your own sadhana. Otherwise, why are you even here? Now, there have been instances when I have faced psychic attacks from people like this, because I am in this profession for over 2.5 decades. In some form or the other, I'm doing this. So I've had these experiences, especially on Holi, Deepavali. These are the days when people send masan chokis and this and that. And I mean, it happened to me, and I realized that there was somebody who had put a maran chowki on me, and thankfully I was also in meditation when I could feel that energy, and I didn't even do anything, but it bounced back to them, and I believe that person who sent it to me has stopped work and is facing massive eye problems, can barely see. I didn't even have to do a pratyangira or do anything. And I only realized that this happened was because, I don't check my own natal chart, or I don't check my own transits, or on my own thing. This is just like, okay, understood. But I felt that at that point, and my aura is such that if you try to penetrate my aura, I will feel it. It happens. Now, this mantra that I told you is the most powerful mantra of Sattvic Aghor. I mean, many people use Aghor power to do tamasic work. And that's all, the masan jagana and, khopri ko baat karana and all that stuff. But Sattvic people who are more into the metaphysical aspect of Aghor, this mantra for them is the most powerful mantra. And there's a way to chant this, and I teach this in a workshop. If you want to invoke Rudra, then this, or if you're interested to enter Aghor, but I don't teach tamasic Aghor, no blood sacrifice and all that. But if you're interested to learn Aghor in a sattvic manner, then you can contact me. In fact, this is such a powerful, this Aghor Rudra mantra, that once you've got Siddhi in it, you need to just chant it 3 times, blow on your whole body, and you'll get protection. Even if you are in a dangerous place, if you're in a war zone, or if you're doing sadhana in a crematorium, that's also important. Now, Disha Bandhan is very important, especially in Yakshani or any. Disha Bandhan is very important, but especially if you're doing Lona Chamari or any other kind of things, any other kind of sadhanas. So this Rudra mantra will protect you from everything, any and everything. Okay, so I think we've crossed the 1 hour mark, and tons of things more that I will come back again and talk about Rudra and talk about Yoginis. Don't forget to join my WhatsApp Yogini course. But before I go, let's chant the mantra. Aghorebhyo athagorebhyo ghora ghora darebhya sarvebhyo sarva sarvebhyo namaste astu rudra rupevya. It's honestly done wonders for not just me, but many people. So that is the end of the discussion today. Thank you so much for joining me, and please consider becoming a member of the channel. And if you're interested in my Bhairav kit, let me know. I have a Bhairav kit, and WhatsApp Yogini course or the Rudra course. Take care. Speak soon. Bye.